All right, gentlemen. So today I've got an exciting video for you, walking you through how to set up a junk removal Google Ads campaign. This is similar to what we do here at Max Conversion. We've already got a setup and a template laid out that works. But if you're new and you're looking to set up your own Google Ads account, this is the right video for you. We're going to be walking you through all the different ad groups, campaigns, the small details, the audiences, the targeting, and you're going to want to stick through the whole thing so that you make sure that every detail is correct. We're going to be walking you through native keywords as well and making sure those are added right off the start. That way you're not losing any budget to bad terms such as waste management or some sort of disposal or garbage pickup. We have run junk removal campaigns for dozens and dozens of junk removal companies. So this is coming from somebody who's experienced in the junk removal space. And this will include all the different keywords you want to target and all the different types of jobs. Now, if any ad group along this time you don't want to target, you can go ahead and pause it. But we're going to start from a brand new campaign from scratch. If you already have a Google Ads account active, go ahead and jump forward into the video to where we start building out the campaign. But we're going to set up a new account. So the first thing you're going to want to do is if you're setting up a brand new account, you're going to go to ads.google.com and you can't see it here, but you're going to want to click in the Start Now blue button on the top right. So click that and then it'll start walking you through that. Now we're just going to create a new account here. We're going to call it junk removal test account. And make sure that the Google Ads account is always on Google Ads, not a Smart Campaign account. And then you're going to select I'm not a robot. All right, so once you get through that, you're going to add your billing details. We're going to skip right through here. Just select submit on that. And there we go. We got our account set up. Now yours is going to be a little bit more intricate of a process, but make sure you just put your billing details in. Make sure you put your website in, and you just go through that step by step that Google provides for you. So once we're on this screen, we're going to start and create our first campaign. We're going to go ahead and put all our ad groups under one campaign and run it that way. Now, if you have multiple locations, you're going to want to create separate campaigns for this. Or if you want to target a wider range for certain ad groups and stuff, you're going to want different campaigns. But for simplicity reasons, we're going to be walking you through everything under one campaign, one location targeting, and the same bid adjustment, or not the same bidding strategy. My bad. You can get a little bit more intricate with these, but this should do perfectly fine for you. So let's start out with a new campaign. You're always going to want to create a campaign without goal guidance. You don't want to use a goal. We don't want Google telling us what, recommending anything or telling us what to do. So always create it without goal guidance. Hit search, and we're going to name this campaign Junk Removal. And let's do one in St. Louis, Mo, because that's where I'm located at. And so we want to focus on, we don't have any data for conversion tracking. We are going to want to switch to target CPA down the road, but for now we can set it with enhanced CPC. This is going to be maximum cost per click. We don't want this, but that's okay. Let's go through these settings and we can go back and change them. I like to exclude search partners, and I also like to exclude Google Display Network. Google Search Partners is optional. That's up to you. Just to start though, just to keep it on Google, you likely want to disable it. But this just helps you get some clicks from Google's partner networks, other websites that they own. If you disable this, that means your ads will only show up on Google. In Display Network, you don't want that really at all for a junk removal company. Now select location options. Make sure you select people in or regularly in. If you select people interested in, you're going to get people from outside your area. So if somebody looks up St. Louis Mo junk removal and they're out there in California, your ad's going to get picked up for it. So you don't want that. You want people in the location, because a lot of times people outside location are other marketers, or they're people doing research, or they're people from other countries. You don't want that. Just keep it people in. And so what we want to do here is, let's say we want a 25-mile radius and we want it around St. Louis, Mo. Perfect. So we've got 25-mile radius there. Actually, let's do this. We don't want to go over to Illinois because Illinois is right over there. So let's move it in Fenton, which gives us all the way out to it gets us a little bit in Illinois, but Illinois is right the state line, but this should be okay. So we're going to do 25 miles, and this is going to be the targeted radius for the junk removal, where we're running the junk removal campaign at. Keep it on English. We'll select audiences later. We'll get into that. And if this option is available for you guys, make sure you use the keyword match type. We don't want to use broad match at all. Do not ever use broad match. Something I like to do for new campaigns is not optimize the ads yet. We like to test them. We like all of them to be evenly distributed, and then whichever one performs the best, we'll keep that one running. We'll pause the other one and go from there. So Ad schedule, let's just keep it simple. We'll keep it 8 to 7. So we're going to do 8, and then we're going to do to 19. So 8 to 7 o'clock. Uh, this just means running Monday through Friday. We don't have to do anything for Saturday and Sunday if you guys aren't open on weekends. We'll keep that off. If you are open on weekends, all you're going to want to do is click on Saturday or Saturday through Sunday and change those hours. But let's just keep it simple, Monday through Friday. Brand URL, we aren't going to want to mess with any of this. We'll select next here. And here's where we're going to set up our first ad group. So I've got a list of ad groups here, and we've got a lot of them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We've got 23 ad groups here that we're going to set up. And these terms are apartment cleanout, attic cleanout, basement cleanout. If one of these doesn't fit what you guys offer, don't add it. There's no need to add it. Or if you'd like to add it, you could always pause it too, just so you don't have it. But we're going to start with apartment cleanout. So our first ad group is going to be apartment cleanout. Actually, I'm sorry. We're going to want the first one to be the general junk removal one, because this is going to be our outline for all the other ad groups. So let's select junk removal here in our keyword planner, our keyword suggestions. We're going to get some suggestions here. All right. Let's see. Is this asking for here? Let's use our clients. We're going to use keyword suggestions here. And here we go. Now, just from running these, we're going to want a lot of these not to be included. We don't like disposal terms. Disposal terms are usually free. If you're not getting enough search volume, then keep the disposals active. But usually you're not going to want those. Trash removal company, we don't want that. We don't want mattress removal. That's for a different one. But these are good. So let's add junk removers. Junk removers in St. Louis. Junk removal, St. Louis. And we'll keep it at that for now. So we're going to make a lot of these exact match. But we're going to make a few of them phrase match. So phrase match means you put the quotes around the keyword. And when the quotes are around the keyword, that means it's phrase match. And that's a certain match type. And basically what that means is if somebody looks up St. Louis junk removal will show up. If somebody looks up junk removal in St. Louis, Missouri, close to Fenton, Missouri, this will show up because it's got the phrase in it, junk removal St. Louis. Now, the other type that we're going to want to look at is exact match. So those are the brackets. Those are these brackets, which means only if they look up junk removers is it going to show up. That's the only time it's going to show up. A few of these are going to want both phrase and exact. So like junk removal, that works perfect for phrase and exact. So the reason why you want it for phrase and exact is if you're using a manual CPC bidding strategy, you can bid more for the exact match and you can bid less for the phrase match if this is getting you worse clicks. But for the most part, we're going to keep everything today as exact match. And there we go. All right, so we've got exact match here. These will work for now. We're going to get a lot more keywords and ideas down the road, especially as you run it. But just to keep things simple, you're going to want to put these in there for now and then move on to the next thing. We can look at more keywords. So if any of these fit you, junk removal near me is awesome. Junk removal and hauling, all these are pretty good. So let's just select any one that is good. Now junk hauling is going to be a separate ad group because we've got junk removal, we've got junk pickup, and we've got junk hauling. So we want all those as different ad groups. Now we can put them all into one ad group, but just as an attempt to try to increase click-through rate as well as quality score, we put them in a different ad group. And this is perfect. Okay. So let's apply those. And we've got this one already there. We've got this one there. We've actually got them pretty much all there. We don't have junk removal near me. We'll want to add that. And then we'll want to add this as an exact match. Okay, perfect. Now, the URL we're going to be using today is going to be packall. We're going to be using packall as our URL. And so here we just want general term, junk removal. And here we want the different headlines. So fast and reliable, professional service. Let's do St. Louis. Oh, um, so you notice that each first letter of each word is going to be capitalized, and that's just to make it look more professional. It's just a common practice for Google Ads, just to do that. Helps your ad stand out a little bit better. So any headlines, you're going to want it first letter of each word capitalized. You're also going to want that in the description as well. But let's see. I want the business name, and let's see if you guys have any if you guys have any offers. It's always good to put that in the headlines as well. So we'll put this um, in our headline, and this looks good for now. So now let's jump into the description. So we delivers junk removal. And perfect. Okay. So this looks good as just a basic description. And here is where we're going to want to jump into some more details, right? So excellent service, 5-star reviews, trusted junk removers hauler, and disposal. We handle everything. That's going to be too long. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, so we've got 3 descriptions here. These 2 work excellent for kind of second descriptions for the rest of the other ad groups. And we'll worry about assets or extensions a little bit later. We'll worry about that at the end once we're done with all the ad groups. So this looks good for now. We're going to go ahead and apply that ad group, and we'll just say we have about a $50 budget for this campaign. Now, in the junk removal space, an average budget really ranges for your area, but you're really going to want to start out around $50 a day to $100 per day. And if you have more than that, I would highly, highly recommend spending more than that. So once you're ready to go, hit publish. But what's this going to do is it's going to publish the campaign. And what we're going to want to do is go to the top left and pause it because we don't want this running yet. It's not ready. Hey everyone, intervening here. I realized that I did not end up changing the bidding strategy, which is a very, very important to the campaign. Before we jump into change up the ad groups and add them all, you're going to want to make sure you go into the campaign that you're in, go to the campaign, and make sure we change that bidding strategy. So I said we want to enhance CPC. We did not do that at the very beginning. So we're going to want to change the bidding strategy. Click on that and click manual CPC. And once it's enabled, this will be enabled whenever you set up conversion tracking. But for now, you're going to want manual CPC and just put all the bids at $5 to start with. Now, areas are different. The locations are different. So if you're in a competitive area like Dallas, you're going to want to spend a little bit more than if you're in a rural area like somewhere similar to somewhere in Missouri, like Eureka, Missouri. So if you're in Dallas, I would set it at 10 and or Florida or other competitive area, and then kind of go up from there. So start it there, but you're going to want to make sure you change that bidding strategy right away. But we'll get back into the video and showing you guys how to create these ad groups. The next thing we're going to want to do is jump into our ad groups. So we've got, I believe we said 23 ad groups, which we're going to leave out the junk pickup because we don't want that. And let's see, we're going to leave out property managers, and the rest should be good. We're going to, no, we want to keep competitors. You usually don't want to run on a competitor's name just because if somebody's looking for 1-800-GOT-JUNK or Junk Luggers or another big franchise company, you're not going to want to run on their name because they're looking for that company, and you'll hear mixed reviews about, do we run on competitors, do we not? Keep your budget for the main terms. Keep your budget for people who don't know what kind of company they're looking for yet. And that's what I would say. And if you have excess money to spend, go ahead and run it on competitors. But there's better places to put your money other than running it on competitors. But we'll build out that ad group, and I'll show you guys some different competitor keywords, and then we can go from there, and that can be your decision whether you run it on your Google Ads or not. So what we're going to do here is we're going to copy and paste the ad group. All right. And since the campaign's paused, don't worry about pausing this ad group as well. We're going to go through and we're going to add and change all the ad groups to make sure that they have the right keywords and they're set up correctly. But what this is our basic ad group, which means this is going to be our layout for all future ad groups. Um, we're just going through it now. You're gonna want to go through and if you you're gonna want to go through and change the descriptions of them in the future. But for now, this is a great starting spot for your junk removal Google Ads. And this is an easy way to get it set up quickly if you don't already have a template kind of ready to go. Now at Max Conversion, we do have a template ready to go. We've got all these ad groups built out, descriptions updated, uh, landing page template that has a high conversion rate. Everything's already kind of, we just copy and paste. We use the Google Ads editor, offline editor to do everything. But for simplicity reasons and just to walk you guys through this, this is how you're going to want to do it the first time. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to copy and paste all the ad groups. So I'm going to go through here and we're going to go ahead and hit copy and paste until we get to, we left out 2, so we're going to get to 21 ad groups. And once we're there, I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're back here with the 21 ad groups copy and pasted. That is leaving out the 2 junk pickup and property managers. The reason why we left out property managers is just because there's not enough search volume. We've run the campaign and ad groups over and over again, and property managers are they're just not, they're looking for just general junk removal terms, and so it's really impossible to target like property manager, junk removers, or like some sort of similar keyword. And so just leave that out. It's no big deal. It's not leaving out any search volume. Now junk pickup, you guys can add it. You're gonna run into a lot of people who are asking for free stuff for they don't really understand the service. They just have junk and they're looking for somebody to pick it up. And so you're going to get a lot of bad calls, bad potential customers through that. So leave it out. But if you feel like you want to add it, go ahead and add it because that is another ad group. We do not add it on our junk removal campaigns that we manage in our agency. just because it's just not great. So let's start out with the first one. We'll start out with apartment cleanout, and we're gonna go over here, and here's how we're gonna do it. So we're gonna change the ad group name. We're gonna go apartment cleanout. We're gonna jump up into apartment cleanout. We're gonna go ahead and remove all the keywords for apartment cleanout, and then we're gonna go ahead and add all the apartment cleanout keywords. So we're gonna add apartment cleanout services near me. Don't do anything with houses or rentals. We have different ad groups for that. We don't want companies to clean the house, so that's going to be something we touch on later with negative keywords. But apartment cleanout services, this is great. So next we're going to want to look up apartment junk removal, right? So apartment junk removal from apartment, junk removal apartment. We're not going to want rubbish removal, but this is perfect the way it is. So let's add all these as exact matches. All right, now we're going to click save, and then we're going to jump over to the ads. Now with the ads, we're going to want to change a few key things, and you'll notice this over and over again with different ad groups. Is one thing we want is we always want the keyword there. So apartment cleanout is going to be the keyword, right? And so we want, this is perfect. We want something with apartment cleanout. So this is perfect. So we've got apartment here, and we've got junk, we've got clean out. So those are great. That's going to help the click-through rate, and that's going to make your ad more relevant. And so what you can even do is you can even put these in position 1 so that anytime somebody searches this, they're going to see one of these two. And these are always guaranteed to be a number 1 spot, and because that's where we pinned them. And stuff like this, I would put on always a second spot. Now this isn't really necessary, but if you want to just test it out as is without putting in positions, you can. But just from experience, we know that these we want on the third spot because they're kind of call to actions. In the first 2 headlines, we want something that grabs their attention, and then we want kind of a hook. And $50 off first-time customers is a great hook after we remove junk from apartments. $50 off first customer, and then we want this, for example. So see how that's a little bit more grabbing than just having it random. But you know, Google does test all these different headlines in different spots, so they will figure out what works best. But if you feel like that you know best and what sounds good to you, go ahead and move these to different positions. This is how I would structure it: is the call, the hook, and the call to action. So now here's where you're going to want to change to apartment. So this is perfect. So we've got the keyword here, apartment cleanout services, and we've got the location. So this is excellent. We can leave these because these are very, very relevant, and you're good to go. So that ad group is done. Apartment cleanout's done. Next, you're going to want to jump over to this up there. Select ad groups again, and we're going to want to find number 3. And so number 3 is going to be attic. So we're going to be doing attic cleanout. And hit select save. And do the same thing, rinse and repeat over and over again. And so I'll do about 4 to 5 of these to show you just how they're done, how we do the keywords, and then I'll turn my mic off and we'll go through all of them, and you guys can watch the keywords that I put in and just how we change the ad text up and follow along. So this is perfect. This adds junk removal and clean out, and so this is perfect the way it is. Now keep in mind that sometimes if you're not getting enough volume for some of these, is one, they don't have a lot of volume, right? So the apartment cleanouts, the attic cleanouts, the basement cleanouts, they don't have a ton of volume. But the thing you'd be missing out on is if you didn't have these ad groups is the potential to show up when people do type it in on Google. So, but one thing you can do, say this attic cleanout is not getting enough search volume, go ahead and put the main term attic cleanout or attic junk removal. Go ahead and put that as phrase match. It'll pick up more search terms, and you have more of a chance of showing up for that. So perfect. And then we're going to jump over the ads. And oops. All right. Let me select that. And so same thing over here, attic cleanout. And we're going to add attic cleanout services. Let's do STL. And then we'll switch junk with attic, clean out, and junk. Oh, so we can fit that in. Perfect. All right. And St. Louis and the surrounding area. Awesome. So then we'll go back to campaigns. We'll select ad groups. And now we're on to number 4, which is basement clean out. So number 4, let's see. All right, we'll just do number 5, basement clean out. And remove the keywords. And find the keywords that fit. Now you see here, if like floor drain, floor, you don't want any of that. You do not want any of that by any means. Because if you start getting calls for, basement floor or foundation repair or whatever comes about, you're going to be wasting money on Google Ads, and there's ways to prevent it. You don't want to be wasting money on Google Ads. So this is perfect. Again, with the basement clean out ad group, there's not a ton of volume, but you do want to have it because you want to show up for it, just in case people are looking, right? So basement clean out services. Let's see if we can fit junk services. Junk service works. And then we're going to go down here and switch that to basement junk removal services. Clean out and area and St. Louis. So this works out perfect. Don't be afraid to remove or add or change some descriptions around. You can also change the second and third description if you find it more relevant and you want to change it up a little bit. But that's why we always have something pretty broad here. Let me jump back into it. We always have something pretty broad here, like excellent service, 5-star reviews, trusted junk removers. Like, this is very broad, and it tells the customer what you guys do. Same with this. This just tells them, like, hey, we pick it up and we dispose of it for you. So that's why we have that second and third description, and we don't really change it too much. So I'm going to skip out on the brand name for now. You're just going to want the well, actually, let me not skip out on it for you guys. So there's my fourth one. So let's say the brand name here is going to be Packall as our company name, because that's the website we're using. So what you're going to want to do is put Packall, St. Louis, Pack in Hall. And this works out perfect. Just have these, just have your business name, any variations of your business name, add that. And then what I would do here is, you don't even have to worry about changing this. Don't make this like Packall, because you're already going to get a good quality score because it's your brand name. Just put whatever you feel is most fit for your company. So like this, you could put like that and put that in second position, and there you go. So they've got your name right then and there in the first headline. They've got your hook, and then they've got the call to action. And then this is great. And so you move on, and the brand name's very, very simple. You don't want to overcomplicate it. Just want to make sure that you're showing up whenever a customer searches for your company. Next, we'll jump over to the competitors. So if you'd like to run this ad group, you're more than welcome. But again, I recommend against it, just because people are looking for, when they're looking for a specific company, it's very hard to steal competition from just your Google ads. I've personally heard a lot of calls where people call for one company, like 1-800-GOT-JUNK or Junk Luggers or Junk King, and they call these companies and they're like, oh, you're not Junk King? Oh, well, I must have the wrong number, and they hang up and they go call Junk King. So simple waste of money. But yeah, you can add Junk King, Junk Luggers, 1-800 got junk. Because a lot of these people just type in 1-800, they just type in got junk. We've got Junk Luggers, college hunks, and any other competitor. If you have local competitors, go ahead and add those guys as well. And you notice we're adding them here as phrase match, because there's so many different variations to these. You know, somebody might spell it wrong, or they might say junk luggers in St. Louis or junk kings in St. Louis. So you're gonna want to miss phrase match if you do run competitors. And the thing I would do here is because you're running up against your competition, you're gonna want a hook. You're gonna want a good hook. So we might want to put this there, and we might want to put this in the second spot, just to make sure that you have a good hook. You're showing up on your competitors' ads. Make sure you have something that entices them to click on your ad and then give you a call. So that goes into the ad, and then once they click on the ad, make sure you have a good landing page set up. And that's how I would set up competitors. Now let's jump back into the ad groups, and we're going to start with construction. So construction debris removal, construction junk removal. Go ahead and remove the keywords, and I'll do this one, and then I will do one more, and then I'll walk you guys through the rest just on the screen. So we're doing construction debris. Now, if you guys would want, I would not have waste removal. I would not have trash removal. I would just have these. I know a lot of companies who don't like running the construction, the concrete, just because it's kind of heavy on the body and it's taxing, and the jobs are they're just some people don't like it. So if this demolition debris fits what you guys are doing, go ahead and add that. Um, but yeah, these are perfect. So let's add construction junk removal. And then what we're going to want to do is go ahead and put exact match for all these. Select save. Go to ads. Change up the ads. And switch the display path. Construction, debris, removal. Oop. Perfect. All right. We'll select save ad. And we'll jump into one more. And the next one is e-state cleanout. And I'm kind of losing what number we're on. We'll do e-state cleanout. I believe this is the right one. E-state cleanout. Right. Make sure you don't do house cleanout because we do have another ad group. I was just double checking. We do have another ad group for house home cleanout. So make sure it's just e-state. Um, do not do any cleaning services. You're going to get a lot of maids or just general cleaning services. I would not do that. Um, let's do e-state junk removal. E-state, and let's do junk hauling as well. Some people use that. All right, perfect. Now let's make sure brackets are around there. Perfect. Okay. I'll change the ads up to make them relevant to e-state cleanout. Perfect. Okay. So follow along. I'm going to be putting these ad groups in here. We are on eviction cleanout now. So I'm going to be popping these ad groups in whenever we jump into a new ad group. I'm going to show you all the keywords. So just follow along. And of course, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. All right, guys, I am back. We have got all the ad groups created. Each one, we even added a yard waste removal, which I totally looked over. But that should be added. That can be added to the rubbish or the just its own separate ad group. But you're definitely going to want that. There's plenty of clicks that are on that ad group. But yeah, so we got through all the ad groups. Now what do we do? What's our next step? There's a few things. So with the ad groups, what I like to do, usually it's recommended that you have at least 2 to 3 ads per ad group. Now on this, for the sake of time and simplicity, we only did one. But if you'd like to do another one, what I would recommend doing is I would do it on all your biggest ad groups. So I would go into the ads and I would set up another responsive search ad. I'd copy and paste this, change some descriptions and headlines around. But what I'd also like to do is set up a call ad. So what you'll want to do here is you'll want to put your phone number in here. Now it's not going to get verified on my end just because the we don't have the right information for this. But you're going to want to put the phone number here, and I would definitely put it in this sort of format right here, the way Google has it. It looks the best, it shows up the best, and it shows up exactly how you put it in there, right? So if you mess around with it and put it in a certain way, it's not going to look great. So at least I believe it does. I believe it does. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it shows up how you have that here there. Put your verification URL. This is verifies that phone number to make sure it's accurate. Now, a final URL is not always recommended. Google recommended because people can click on your website, so it will add a link there where somebody can click instead of call. So I like to not add that because then they're only forced to call. So if they click, they're forced to call, and they'll reach out. Here you would just put your display path, junk removal, estate clean out, house clean out, etc. Here, put your business name here, and then you only get 30. You only get 30 here. So put your best offer. So what I would put is I'd put $50 off for first-time customers, for new customers, and then put something here, right? So it just shows up right here. It's not. I mean, it doesn't give you a whole lot of room, so you're gonna want to do your best to get that in the first headline. And description as well. Make sure your descriptions are good. You can copy and paste the ones that we previously used. That's totally okay. But what I would do is I'd create those call ads, and then what I do from there is copy and paste them across all the different ad groups that get enough search volume. And the ones that get enough search volume are going to be I'll go through them really, really quick. Ones that are going to get more than others, right? So hot tub's going to get plenty. House clean out should get enough. Garage clean out should get enough. Furniture is going to be one of your heavy hitters. Now, depending on if you run furniture, so furniture and mattress, right? They're both low. The margins are tight, right? So the lead cost needs to be low for these to make sense for you as a junk remover. You can run these. A lot of the times that the campaigns that we manage, we add them to the account, but we a lot of times pause them just because they're $100 jobs, $150 jobs. We're trying to go after some of the bigger jobs, and so we can leave those off sometimes. Granted, the mattress and furniture does typically get a lower cost per lead just because the cost per click's lower, and there's more people searching for it. So that's completely up to you whether you want to run it. But I would definitely this one are going to get a lot of volume. Construction will get a lot of volume. Yard waste will get a lot of volume. Storage unit will get a lot of volume. Um, we didn't add too many demolition keywords here, but if you wanted to, you could always add shed removal. That gets you plenty of volume. Also, concrete gets you a lot of volume. So concrete removal. We mentioned that earlier, but it's not always something people want to run. Carpet removal can get you a lot as well. Deck removal as well. So these are additional ad groups if you'd want to add them. If you do all that, make sure you add them. Deck removal, do the same process we did previously and get those added. But yeah, here's a list of ad groups that you're going to want in there. But some are going to get more volume than others, right? So a lot of people always want the foreclosures. They always want the house clean outs, the hoarder clean house. Guys, there's just not a ton of those out there. I mean, there's plenty out there. There's plenty for business, but they're not always. It's not a high volume search like furniture. So you want to at least have the ad groups to be able to show up. But it's just that, right? You'll show up whenever people are searching for it. And so that's why you have those ad groups. So let's jump in. So if you're looking to add the call ads and some more ads, go ahead and go through that process. Pause the video, and once you do that, come back to this, and we're going to go through setting up the ad extensions. We're going to set up the audiences, and so on. So let's jump into the audiences first. And something I like to do, and this is completely up to you guys, but something I like to do in all my campaigns is I like to completely get rid of this age group. This age group is not the type of clientele that you want. So go ahead and click edit. We'll change the bid adjustment and we want to decrease it by 75%. So people still can click on the ad, but you're going to be bidding 75% less than you are on these other ages, right? So say for simplicity reasons, your cost per click is $10. The max you're going to be spending is $2.50. So if your cost per click is $5, the max you're going to be spending is that $1.50 or however much that amount is. Um, that's how this bid adjustment's done. So put on 18, 24-year-olds. You don't want them using up any of your budget. You don't want them wasting your budget. You want the people who are older, who have the money, who have the houses, and go to that. So let's run in the background and jump into the audience segment. And this part is actually really, really cool. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people don't utilize this. But here is what we got. So if we go to browse, we go to who they are. We're putting all the audiences we can in observation mode. Observation mode does not mean that you're targeting them. It doesn't narrow the reach of your campaign as stated here. All it does is it puts the audiences into the campaign. It observes how they're reacting and interacting with your ads, and then it'll give you the data for it. So all you're doing is collecting additional data for these audiences. And what I like to do is just add them all, as many as you can. See which ones are performing good. You might be surprised by what's performing good, what's not, right? So you've got homeowners, you got renters. You probably, more than likely, don't want any renters. But if you start to notice that you're getting a bunch of renters clicking on your ad, you can always get rid of them, right? So that if they don't convert very well, you can get rid of them. And that is just, the more knowledge, more information that you have, the better. So just go through each one of these. Don't worry about the subcategories, right? So these are little subcategories. Don't worry about those. Just do the broad ones. And something we might want to do here is, let's see, people who do home improvement. So once we got these three, these two are just interactive with your business. So you could set up a remarketing list or custom audience that you create. So you can create people who, it goes pretty into detail, but you can create certain audiences, like customize them in the audience manager, but we're not going to be jumping into that today. And honestly, that's rarely utilized in junk removal. It's not necessary. It's more necessary if you're running large search campaigns or you're running display ads. So let's do this. This automatically picks up people who are interested in these different types of just home improvement services. So if you notice somebody who's doing a lot of home improvement, they'll fall under this category. And when they fall under that category, and if they're getting a good conversion rate, that might mean later on down the road, you're going to want to select targeting and target those. Now, I would not recommend targeting them off the start. Don't say, oh, my target audience is home improvement and homeowners, so we're just going to go ahead and target that. That's not what you're going to want to do, because you're going to get no clicks. If you target it too much, and I've had this time and time again where I target it too much, and it gets so narrow that no clicks happen. No clicks happen. You don't want that. So don't target it too much. Just put on observation mode and run it for, first couple $1,000s and see how it's performing. So let's search. Let's see if there's anything with junk removal. I don't believe there is. We'll add that. Do-it-yourselfers is a big one. Always add that just to see how they're performing. Sometimes they get a great cost per lead. Other times they get a horrible cost per lead, and I've seen it that they get a horrible cost per lead much more than I've seen them get a good cost per lead. So DIYers, you're likely going to want to create a bid adjustment on that later on down the road. Let's see if there's anything else related to home improvement that we want to add. All right. And then we will check garbage and see if there's anything related to garbage that, okay, awesome. Sweet. Now we'll select save, and we've got 99 different audiences in observation mode, right? So anytime somebody clicks on your ad, now Google's not perfect. Google's not perfect. They don't know everything about everybody. They know a lot about a lot of people, but they don't know everything about everybody. So, right, so you're going to get a lot of people who click on your ad, and nothing shows up for any of these categories. That's just because Google does not know who they are. They can't put them in any categories. But the good news is the people that are in the categories, they'll be put in the correct one, and that way you'll start to get an accurate idea of who your ideal Google Ads target audience is. So something you can do, though, is if we find like the do-it-yourselfers and they're not performing well, we can always decrease that bid a lot, right? We can get rid of do-it-yourselfers. They don't see our ads. We don't want them to see our ads. They don't convert. They eat up all our money. We'll get rid of them. So that is awesome. That's a little hidden trick there with the audiences. Not a lot of people do it, but it's very, very important. We got the bid adjustments. Actually, they were not added, but you're going to want to make sure those bid adjustments are added on the 18 to 24-year-olds. Other than that, don't do anything with gender. Definitely don't do anything with household income. Don't worry about that. It's just not important, and it really it really kind of messes up the campaign if you start doing household income. It just gets too narrow and you don't get a lot of clicks. So let's do the assets. So with this, we're not going to be able to do the business name. And the reason we're not going to be able to do the business name is it's going to ask us to verify. So this is just a test account. So it's not, we can't verify it, but you can do your business name and business logo if your ads account is verified. I would recommend verifying it. That way you have that. It looks a lot better on the Google Ads on the search results. But here's where what we're going to want to add. We're going to want to add site links. So click on add. And the site links I would recommend is just have the general junk removal page. We're going to have a contact us page. We're going to have a furniture removal page. And we're going to have a clean out services page. Now, if you have an individual page, which I'd recommend for SEO reasons, on your website, I would recommend linking each one of these to the correct spot, right? And then adding a short description for each of them as well. You get a lot less characters. You only get 35 compared to 90 on the ads, but you would want to add something like for contact us, 5 stars, junk removal service, and then say Packall Services, the STL area. Something really small. Doesn't have to stand out too much. It's just a short description. It's helpful. But yes, make sure you create that. Callouts are very, very important. And let me actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the callouts that I've used for other companies. Let me get it pulled up really quickly, and that way we're just setting it up with the right callouts and structured snippet and call extensions right away. And so we're going to want to use, okay, so for callout, we are going to want to use just general information. Don't do anything too crazy. Don't promote here. Don't just talk about yourself, right? So 5-star reviewed, flexible scheduling, highly trained staff. Oop, 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 oop. Highly trained staff. Um, all right, now let's add 2 more. I cannot spell today. And we'll add the first one we had, 5-star reviewed. Perfect. And then structured snippets are very, very important. So really, this one, well, this one, this one, this one, this one. You're going to want as many extensions as possible. Use as many as possible. Don't use the lead form, but definitely use the location, and we'll jump into that in just a sec. But the structured snippet is we're going to want to select service catalog, and we're just going to want to add all the different types of services here, right? So just like our ad group, apartment clean out, we're going to want to add all the big ones. And I'm just now realizing that we forgot to add the appliance removal ad group. All right, perfect. All right, so we add all those, and you'll want to add the call extension. So make sure you add your number, add it like that, and don't worry about increasing the interaction bit adjustment. Just leave it as is, and add that. Forget the lead form extension for now. I've never seen it really be useful. For location, location's awesome because it shows up as your Google My Business profile. So if you ever look up a junk removal company or another local service company in your area, sometimes you'll see the ad or sponsored section in the Google My Business section. This is what they're doing here is they're adding the location asset or extension to their Google Ads. So definitely do that. If you have a Google My Business, which you should, make sure you link the Google Ads in the location. Do not worry about price. Your price is flexible. It changes. It's quote. So they need a quote to get a price. Now a promotion would be great. If you guys are offering a promotion, I would make it relevant. So we're going back to school here soon. Say up to $50 off, and then add that URL and save it. That's awesome. It'll help your ad stand out a little bit more. It'll get better. It'll get more clicks, and it's and it just restates what you said in your ads, because in your ads you said $50 off. Make sure your promotion says $50 off. So that's what you're going to want to do for the extensions. You've got the audiences, you've got the assets. Now let's jump into devices. So very, very most of the time you're going to have more people convert on a mobile phone than a computer. And the reason being is just it's easier to call on a mobile phone. It's easier to present a call to action to the person visiting your website, and it's just a simple click and call. And that also, you've got that call ad as well that helps you with um, the mobile phone conversion. So what I like to do is I like to put a negative bid adjustment. Now, if you're not comfortable with this yet, actually for a brand new campaign, I probably wouldn't put a negative bid adjustment on a computer, but you can. You can put a negative 25, or what you can do instead is you can increase it by 35 for mobile phones. So you're targeting mobile phones more than computers. You're willing to bid more on mobile phones because you get a better conversion rate that way. So that's that. Locations, I should jump back into locations. So what we did is we did a 25-mile radius around Fenton. I would actually recommend against this. So what I would recommend is I would recommend selecting each city individually. And we do not want the region. We want to select each city individually. And the reason why, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but if we select each one individually, what's going to happen is in our location report. So if we got, say, we ran it for a month, we got 100 clicks, all these clicks would be under this 25-mile radius. We wouldn't know where they're at, what city they're in. We wouldn't know who's converting better. And so if you have all the cities listed out, it is going to show you who clicked in Fenton, who clicked in Baldwin, who clicked in St. Louis, who clicked in Eureka, and Chesterfield, and Arnold. You're going to see everyone who clicked in what city. And so if you see that, hey, people in Arnold are not clicking, or they're not converting, we've gotten 20 clicks, 0 conversions in Arnold, we know, hey, we don't want to run it in Arnold. Or what you say is if you're located here, right in the middle, and you're running it up to the St. Charles area, and St. Charles is far away, it takes the trucks a while to get there, and you already have to quote a little bit more to get out there. Then St. Charles isn't converting, you're going to want the bid adjustment to be lower. Or you want you want to decrease the bid adjustment to make sure that you're not getting as many clicks out there in St. Charles. You're going to want to keep it local, and so you have a lot more flexibility to manipulate the data and use bid adjustments and use the data. Instead, what a lot of companies do is they put this radius around, and then what happens is they're running ads for months or even years, and a Google Ads Manager goes into look at it, and there's no location data. So you have to start from scratch. So it's good to do this right off the start, create it the right way the first time. Awesome, awesome. So we've got the ad group set up. We've got the campaign set up. It is ready to run almost. So the next step is, and we're not going to go over it in the video, but the next step is to set up a landing page. A landing page is going to be a one page on your website. Do not direct these customers to the home page. You want it on a separate landing page, no menu. You want everything directed for Google Ads on this page. So the reason why you want it that way and that set up that way is for the conversion rate. If you move it to the home page, people can look at all the different pages on your website, and it's not set up as a sales page as much as a landing page usually is. So you're going to want to set the landing page. You're also going to want to set up the conversions. And the types of conversions you want are 2. You're going to want to track phone calls, and you're going to want to track form submissions. Don't track anything else. Don't track clicks. Don't track time on page. You want new business opportunities, and you want to know how much you're paying per lead, not how much you're paying for somebody to sit on your page for a minute and a half and scroll on their phone or whatever. You just want to track phone calls and lead form submissions. And too many times there's people who also manipulate the data to make it seem like you're getting more conversion rate or a better conversion rate than you actually are, because they track different types of conversions that actually should not be tracked. So set up that landing page, get that conversion tracking set up, and click enable on this campaign, and you're ready to go. That would be the next step. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fine tweak it, as you're going to want to take a look at it every day. Make sure you're adding native keywords and change it up. One more bonus tip, speaking of negative keywords, is you're going to want some general negative keywords. And what what you should do is go to tools and settings up top and select native keyword list. And what I would do is I would select a native keyword list. And we've got one with over 3,000 negative keywords that have just all the different terms you don't want to show up for, and that's including competitors and everything. So, but I would go through and add all the negative keywords that you do not want. Let me see if I can find a list really quick. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So I found the list of negative keywords that includes 3,000 negative keywords, and what we're going to name this is just the main negative keyword list. I will sift through here and show you guys, but here is what we're looking at. We're just looking at, you'll notice there's just 1-800-GOT-JUNKS in there, there's waste, and there's just different names, there's different brands. All this is what you don't want, and let's see, it might be easier to save it. So 3,057, sorry, and there's just lots of key terms here that you don't want, and we have this already set up with all of our Google Ads campaigns that we run for junk removers. We have this automatic list, and we've got another 2 lists as well, but this is going to be the main list that you're going to want to set up with. So notice a lot of brands here. Let me scroll back down and go through each page for you guys. That way you can add them on your end. All right, we got one more page, about 57. Perfect. This is it. So what you're going to want to do is I've made this mistake in the past where I will set up a negative keyword list, but what you got to do is you got to make sure that you apply it to the campaign, right? So you can see here it says 0 campaigns applied to. Just click this, apply to campaigns, and set that up right there. So perfect. Now we are ready to go. If you have a landing page, you can go ahead and run this right now. If you don't, make sure you have one set up. That's going to be a big factor in conversion rate. That's the difference between getting a 10% conversion rate and a 30% conversion rate. Big, big, big difference. Conversion tracking is necessary as well. You should set that up before running them as well. It's not, it's if you're running it and you have some other way to track it and you don't care about seeing your conversion rate and you're going to manually track it, that's okay, but I always would recommend getting conversion tracking set up. Now, if you're having difficulty setting up conversion tracking, you can always reach out to us at Max Conversion, and we're happy to help you. We'll take a look at it, make sure everything's set up right, set up that conversion tracking, even set up that landing page for you guys, and get everything set up properly. So that's max-conversion.com. You can find us on Google, on Facebook, and we'd be happy to help. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something, and I hope you guys get your junk removal Google Ads campaign set up correctly, just like it should be. It's a competitive industry, but when you get the Google Ads set up right, it makes a whole heap of difference. But if you guys have any questions, reach out to us. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like the video, make sure you hit a like and to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.